up in the morning edition, parliamentarians celebrate majority rule. The country records its second homicide for the year. And the country's teachers ready for a new industrial agreement. It's a Friday and the weekend is here to catch up on some much needed rest. Good morning to all of you. I'm LaDawn Davis and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And joining us live here in studio on the Morning Edition to tell us how things are shaping up weather-wise is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. I was at Nest Tower Cam showing some stratiform clouds, usually associated with the kind of temperatures we've been experiencing overnight. And as we take you to our satellite picture, you can see that frontal boundary is now well to the south of the Bahamas. Behind that, the high-pressure steering winds are from the north, and that's keeping these temperatures pretty nice and cool. But there will be a slight warm-up later on today. We'll tell you more about that later in the newscast, so do stay tuned. Outside of our studios, we have just a few clouds with temperature 61 degrees, relative humidity at 58%. We have calm winds, your barometric pressure 1,018.1 millibars. That translates to 20.2 inches, and it is rising. And if we can get to our temperatures around the Family Violence this morning, 65 degrees in Freeport, also Grand Key reporting 65, 67 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, taking you into the Berry Islands, 69, 68 in Alistown, Bimini, in San Salvador and Rum Key, 70 degrees there, 72 in Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Mayaguana, Acklands, Ragged Island, and Matthew-Town and Nago, all at 72 degrees. And the Turks and Caicos Island have a temperature of 75 degrees. Your boating forecast for today in the northwestern islands, north to northeast winds, 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights just around 3 to 6 feet. High tide, 11:03 this morning. The low tide will take place at 5:31 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands today, north to northeast flow, not too bad. The speed's around 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, traffic reporter Sieska Adderley is standing by with traffic cops to tell us what we can expect on our streets this morning. Hello, Sieska.
Good morning. This morning's traffic report, we're coming to you live from Collins Avenue. Now, it's interesting as we are just coming off of a holiday and we're now heading into the weekend. So just a quick reminder to drink responsibly if you are partaking in any alcoholic beverages, and reminders also of the school zones as it's now that morning commute between 7:30 and 9 to be aware you should not be traveling more than 15 miles per hour if you are in a school zone, and also just regular traffic laws or regular speed limits. If you're traveling within the inner cities, that's 25 miles per hour. If you are on the highways, that's up to 45 miles per hour, but you should not be exceeding anything over 45 miles per hour. So those are just some quick tips heading into the weekend and coming off of the holiday. So everybody be safe over the holiday and into the weekend. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Sieska. Now on to our top story this morning. Government leaders and members of religious communities attended an ecumenical service yesterday at St. Francis Xavier Cathedral to mark Majority Rule Day and its impact on this nation. Fern Carey reports.
In his address during the ecumenical service marking the observance of Majority Rule Day, Vicar General of the Catholic Archdiocese, Father Kendrick Forbes, noted that the event was a defining moment in the nation's history, when for the first time on January 10, 1967, a new era of political, social, and economic rights was ushered in for all Bahamians. He added that Bahamians should never forget the struggle that led to majority rule, noting that it was all about people, not personalities.
Majority rule was not about changing the domination of one race for the domination of another. It was not about establishing the entitlement of one political party over another. It was about establishing a new national order in which all Bahamians will enjoy freedom of association, equal opportunity and access to education, regardless of color, ethnic origin, or any other accident of birth.
The Catholic priest encouraged residents to work together for the common good.
There will always be differing opinions. There will always be a diversity of opinion on how to achieve a particular goal or a desired outcome. When there is orderly public conversation, rigorous respectful debate about these differences, democracy is at hand. While we can have differing convictions, competing opinions, contrasting ideologies, we must not allow these differences to give way to resentment, to lead to the destruction of a person's character.
President of the Christian Council, Bishop Delton Fernandez, said efforts must continue to ensure that this and future generations remember the significant role majority rule played in the nation's history.
Because of this great significance of January 10th, that we must rise above partisan views and ensure that Bahamians know what this day truly means to all of us, regardless of our skin color. They must know the story of the struggle to reach the goal of one man, one vote. Not to elevate any person or party over another, but because the fact is that if we don't know from whence we came, it's most certain we don't know where we're going.
Hundreds attended the church service, including Prime Minister the Most Honorable Hubert Minnis, members of his cabinet, opposition members, and former Prime Ministers Perry Christie and Hubert Ingram. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Fern. Police are investigating the country's latest homicide, which has left one man dead. Police were called to the Willow Tree Avenue in Pinewood Gardens at 11 p.m. last night after receiving reports of a male being shot. Officers discovered the man with injuries to his body. Paramedics were called to the scene, attempted to revive the victim, but were unsuccessful. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A short time later, police took a 29-year-old male of Kennedy subdivision into custody in connection with this incident. Now, if you have any information that can help solve this crime, you're asked to call 911-919 Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS or your nearest police station. In other news this morning, the government taking steps to address the salaries and pensions of judges. During the opening of the legal year on Wednesday, Attorney General the Honorable Carl Bethel says a report on the matter is now being considered.
Received the report of the Judges' Remuneration and Pensions Commission, and that shortly the same will be, of course, considered and in due course, after approval, will be laid on the table of the House of Assembly by the Most Honorable the Prime Minister, so as to bring the same into effect. I wish to thank retired Justice Claire Hepburn and the other commissioners, Reverend Father Kendrick Forbes, Mr. Bennett Atkinson, and Bar Vice President Attorney Lewis Johnson for their excellent work and the very fine report.
The Attorney General also indicated that the long-awaited electronic bail management system is in the final stages of implementation in the courts.
Under the able leadership of Justice Bernard Turner, who assisted greatly with this project, we will shortly see the bringing on stream of a system which will allow for the e-filing of bail applications even by custodians of Her Majesty's Correctional Facility acting on their own behalf, and which will allow accused persons on bail to fulfill their reporting requirements utilizing facial and biometric scans at bail management kiosks, which are presently being stationed at police stations in New Providence and ultimately in Freeport.
In a matter of weeks, the Bahamas Union of Teachers and the Ministry of Education will head back to the bargaining table to negotiate a new industrial agreement for thousands of teachers at 180 schools across this country. President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, says she is hopeful that the terms outlined in the new industrial agreement would be met favorably.
This is our fourth agreement that we're presenting to the government, and from day one, we had in that agreement where there should be a committee for health and safety, which comprises persons from the Ministry of Education along with the union, where there should be curriculum revision, and we should be an active part of that process.
Director of Education Marcellus Taylor revealed further details on those terms and conditions of the new industrial agreement.
In the case of the BUT, they provided a proposal. We're in the processes right now of reviewing that to come with a counter proposal. And we have a team of persons who will present the ministry's position. It also talks about the kinds of standard work conditions, health and safety issues, what the work responsibility of a teacher might be, for instance, the duties of a teacher and that kind of stuff. And then also it has some policies around how we proceed when there is difference, so the grievance procedures. And then finally, issues around compensation. So, what should be the pay of teachers and what should be allowances and other monies and compensations that are given to them for work that they do.
The Methodist Church of the Caribbean is getting set for its synod. Methodist Bishop Theophilus Rolle joins us here in studio this morning to tell us about it. Bishop Rolle, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you very much, LaDawn. Good morning, Bahamas. It is certainly a joy to be here and to share about the 207th annual session of our Methodist Conference of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands.
Bishop, are you able to talk to us a little bit more about the importance of the Synod to the Methodist Church?
This conference is extremely important to the church as we critically assess where we are as a church at this particular time, focusing primarily on three particular questions. Who are we as a church? Why are we as a church? Where are we as a church? It speaks to our identity, it speaks to our mission, it speaks to our relevance as a church.
And how often do you guys, hold this synod?
We meet once every year, in January every year, and we discuss various things in relation to the work and witness of our church, and also discuss as to how we can be more effective within the church and the community.
And what is the theme for the synod this year?
This year's theme is Constrained by the Love of Christ, Reclaiming Our Heritage.
And what are some of the topics expected to be, discussed at the synod?
Some of the topics expected to be discussed. We expect to look at the whole finances of our church in relation to where we are as a church and how we plan to move forward. We plan to look at the church growth aspects of our church, as well as the outreach mission and ministry of our church, and the schools of our Methodist Church as well. We have 3 schools, the St. Paul's Methodist College, 2 schools in the Turks and Caicos Islands, Wesley Methodist School in Providenciales, and Susana Christian Academy in the Grand Turk.
When is the synod expected to take place?
The synod is going to take place from the 14th, which is this coming Monday, to the 20th. And on next Tuesday in particular, we have our opening service where I'll be delivering the charge. We've extended invitation to all heads of churches as well as government and opposition ministers as well to join us. And the entire public is invited to join us. And then we'll close out with our closing ceremony next Sunday, the 20th. And we invite the entire Bahamas to join us for this great conference.
Bishop Rolle, thank you so much for being here with us on the Morning Edition, and the best of luck to you on the synod.
Thank you very much, LaDawn.
And still to come, we've got more on the Bahamas Business Outlook that's coming up next week. That and more when the Morning Edition comes right back. Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Hundreds are expected to gather at the Bahamas Resort next week Thursday for the 28th annual Bahamas Business Outlook under the theme Connecting Resources, Maximizing Opportunities, Transforming the Bahamas. Attendees will hear from Prime Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Hubert Minnis, who will deliver the keynote address, as well as other noted speakers, including Shabargo Lang, Dave Smith, and Marcus Lang. President of the Counselors Limited, Joan Albury, who hosts the annual event, shared what else participants can expect.
We are going to be introducing some certainly new faces out there and new topics. We're going to talk about WTO, of course. We're going to discuss NHI. We're going to talk about the future of education in the Bahamas and entrepreneurship. We're introducing as well 2 workshops. One is going to be about the built environment, right? And Marcus Lang is on that panel. Sonia Brown is a mechanical engineer, and she's going to moderate that panel.
Creative Arts Director at the Bahamas Resort, John Cox, is one of the presenters at the upcoming Business Outlook. While there, he plans to address the role creators play in the economy.
What it means to be a professional artist. These are simple questions that I think have evolved. I think the same questions we could have asked maybe 30 years ago, the answers that were given 30 years ago are not adequate for today. And I think some of these things come up as a result of my most present role at Bahamas, the Creative Art Director there. We see a whole lot of opportunity and a whole lot of opportunity for growth and opportunity for artists to capitalize on what is there and how we could further develop a platform in this country to be able to broaden the definition of who we are to the world.
As you know, the Morning Edition tries to bring you the best of the best in local entertainment every Friday. Well, this Friday morning is no different. Bahamian music royalty Nita Ellis joins us this morning. And let's just say the key words are steel drums. Nita, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I know you're the daughter of the late and great Count Bernardino. Talk to me a little bit about your passion for steel drums and talk to me a little bit more about where did it come from?
Well, you know, my father played steel drums. He was one of the first Bahamians to be featured on the steel drums way back in the 50s and 60s. And it was always around the house, but I studied, as I grew old, I studied accounting. But the music was so deep in my system, I decided, you know, let me just try it. You know, I did and I loved it, so I put the academics aside and stay with the music. I just love it. It's my life.
So how long have you been doing? How long have you been playing the steel drums?
About 35 years.
And talk to me a little bit about what are you going to be playing for us
Just
this
a little
morning.
piece of Stevie S. and Avi.
And so, without further ado, Nita, take it away.
Thank you.
Fisher, such a stellar performance there by Nita. It seems as if the steel drums is getting popular here in the Bahamas.
I'm watching her right now, and I'm just saying, I wonder if she can teach me that so next year this time, so I can be on ting-a-ling-a-ling. I have some hidden talent, but I don't know what it is yet. But possibly that's it right there.
I don't think so, Fisher. What's coming up in sports?
Coming up in sports, a big majority rule basketball tournament held yesterday. We'll have highlights of that. Also, Buddy Hield continues to stay off the NBA. We'll also have highlights of that. But coming up is ting-a-ding-a-ding-ting-a-ding-a-ding.
That and more ahead in sports.
Good morning and welcome to your TGIF Look at Sports. Buddy Hield continues outbreak season last night as the Sacramento Kings took on the Detroit Pistons. The sharpshooter was 8 for 13 from the field, 2 for 5 from behind the three-point curve, and finished with a side-high 18 as the Kings dealt with the Pistons 112-102. They are now 21-21 on the season and even 500, and they play again Saturday against Charlotte.
Great, man. Just to come back in and just get a win and after the bad loss, and just seeing the guys making plays. The atmosphere is great, you know, and young team, you know, we just having fun, man. And it comes with it, you know. When you're doing so good, you know, you have some ups and downs. You know, everything not gonna go your way. You know, the good teams go on the losing streak sometimes, but we're learning from this, from the mishap we had the past couple of games, and now we just building now.
On the 6th annual Freedom Baptist Majority Rule Basketball Tournament tipping off Thursday at the Anatole Rogers Gym, the boys were the center of attention with some close games, hard-fought ones as well on the hardwood. The tournament will continue on Saturday with the championship games. Josiah Major is the tournament director.
The level of competition is being good. It's being impressive. The first game, I think we had Noble over CH Reyes. That's my first time seeing CH Reyes for the year, so it was good to see them. And we got some solid matches coming up. We wanted to, as a school, Freedom Baptist Academy, we wanted to do this tournament in commemoration of Majority Rule. So that's a good feeling that we could do that on the day. There's nothing much to do on this day, so we give the kids the opportunity to showcase their skills in the Bahamas.
Well, that's going to put a wrap on Sports Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great and blessed weekend.
In our final look at weather, we're going to take you to our satellite picture, meaning we got to roll back just a bit, and that front boundary now well to the south of the Bahamas. High pressure will control our weather for a short while because there's another front system that will be pushing in here late Sunday night going into Monday morning, and that will sort of maintain the cool temperatures that we've been experiencing. As we told you already, low temperature last night went down to 59 degrees here in the capital. Partly sunny and breezy condition with a passing shower in spots today. Your high temperature will struggle to get up to about 79, and tonight we're looking at partly cloudy once again, a bit breezy with those passing showers remaining in the forecast, low temperature getting down to 65. And the extended weather forecast, things will start to warm up on Sunday just ahead of that frontal system. Once that front goes through, we're back into the 70s during the daytime, those nighttime temperatures back into the low 60s. So Don?
Thanks, Basil. And just before we leave, we want to say happy birthday to everyone's good, decent cousin, Vaughn Aubrey of Chippenham. Vaughn celebrates his birthday today. Enjoy your day, Vaughn. And that does it for the morning edition. Thanks for waking up with us. Be sure to join us at 6 p.m. for our 2-hour newscast. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. Enjoy your weekend.